AM 1320 Oceanside, streaming worldwide. And this is DJ Roob. We are at our San Diego Local Live portion of our show. And I am pleased to tell you we've got a band here that's going to play some tracks for you. They're from San Diego. They're called 10 Bulls.
I guess we fall so far away. We're splitting atoms, forgetting Eve. I guess we fall so far, so wide. You're a vaccine full of the others. I guess we fall so far away. Another chance to make you mine. Fill me in. Fill me in. Sign me in. Fill me in. Another chance to make you mine. I guess we fall so far away. But you're my queen, a blue guillotine. I guess we fall so far, so. Swinging at shadows, another one taken alive. I can't see anything, but I might as well just try. And point to the moon, 6 figures soon. Brace for the fall, the fall. Up in the sky, waiting to die. Building a wall, a wall.
Ten Bulls, live here on Not So Serious Radio. Welcome. You made it.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
if you're going to speak into the mic. You too, Jay. So it's nice to see you all here. We had somebody that was a straggler. We won't name names, but he's here now.
See if you can guess.
Yeah, and he's smiling. The mic's not on. Can't
Sure.
defend yourself. There you go.
Not sure.
Anyway, just before we get too far in, the last couple tracks we heard was the most recent track was Capital Zen, and then we kicked it off with the Color 6, and that is from both tracks from your new album, The Physician's Magician.
Yep.
Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Yeah. So before we go even further, how about some introductions, please?
Sure. Okay, so I'm Christian, play guitar, and I'm singing.
I'm Chaz. I play the drums and do this machinery.
He does the machinery.
I'm Jay, and I play bass.
I'm Ida, and I play the synths.
Look at that. All right, you follow that instruction. Now, I had the privilege of seeing you guys play at your album release party this past Saturday at Soda Bar, and oh my Christ, that was fantastic. And I was really impressed. You had quite a turnout, and the band was just on. You are an it band right now. You are the it band in San Diego.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Did you enjoy yourselves? You look like you're having fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's kind of like, the day after Christmas when it ends, because we've been thinking about it for so long and kind of planning it. And so it's this huge build-up, and then after it's like, okay, what do we do now?
Crushing disappointment.
And this is what we do now.
This is
right
what you
here,
did now.
right now.
This is restoration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the band, bring us up to date on maybe a brief history of the band. There's been a lineup change. There's been a name change. Bring us up to speed, Christian.
Yeah, sure. So we changed our name maybe I think 6 months ago, something like that. Officially, we've been talking about it for a long time, like much longer than that, though. We were recording an album for about 2.5 years, and it sounded pretty different from what we were doing before. So we just decided it was a good opportunity to do that. Ida jumped in maybe like 1.5 years ago, maybe a little longer, something around there. And the band is the 4 of us, and we got a 5th guy who's kind of like he's just like our audio engineer / writer. So he doesn't really play shows with us, but we consider him, a part of it. So
You can certainly give him a shout out if you'd like.
yeah, Sebastian Rizzo. He's a great engineer. He's up in LA. If anyone's listening from LA, hit him up if you need anything.
They're all listening from LA.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. All right. So then 2.5 years on this album. It sounds like things maybe changed midstream or along the way. You had maybe canned some songs and started going in a new direction.
Yeah, I think with any new band, it takes a while to figure out really what you want to do. And then sometimes, even then, things end up different from how you originally imagined them. So you're just kind of going with it and seeing how it goes. And so we recorded and re-recorded some of these songs up to like 20 times, just trying to figure out exactly what we wanted to do with them. And so in that time period, it was hard to play shows. We were just kind of spinning our wheels, trying to figure out what the best way forward was. And we ended up with something that I didn't really expect, but I think it's cool. So,
I hope you like it after all that time.
yeah, no.
I guess even if you don't, you have to say you like it.
You kind of get sick of it after a while. It's 2.5 years with the same songs. Like I wrote 10 choruses in 2 songs we're gonna play a song. I wrote 10 choruses for it, and we ended up using the first one that I wrote, so it was a huge waste of time. But you start to really lose something after a while, and then you start playing it live and you get the feedback, and then you gain something different. So.
Okay. And that's a track you're going to play in a bit?
Yeah. Not this one, but the one after.
Okay,
that one, yeah.
that's cool. And then Curiosity kills me. The band name 10 Bulls, is that from a Zen study?
Yeah, that is. That's something that I'm really interested in. I read a lot about. I practice, I guess you could say.
A practicing Zen Meister?
Yeah, something like that. So the idea came from that, and then also it kind of works as a band name. It's really short. It's easy to remember. 2 words, I think, is better. The 3-word band names that were popular for a while. That's what we had before. We kind of, we fell out of love with that pretty quickly. So it works on a couple levels, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it does. And being a Zen master helped you get through law school?
No, I'm not a Zen master, but I did get through law school. I think the band helped me get through law school, really, that whole time. I mean, pretty much the entire time I was getting my JD, we were writing. And then when I was studying for the bar, we were doing a little bit of a tour. So it was pretty cool. It's good stress reliever.
Yeah, well, you approached the bar exam much better than I did. I wasn't in a band. I just suffered in silence for months and months, but that's okay. So I do have to ask, are you ready for playing a couple more tracks?
Yeah, and next time we talk, someone else talk. One of you guys.
Yeah, it's not your strong suit. So want to do a lead-in to this one?
Sure. What's a lead-in?
Well, you're going to play a song, so say, like, okay, here's the name of the song we're going to play, and here's a little lead-in to it.
Yeah, I think one of these guys over here has a great lead-in prepared.
I'll lead into this one. This next one's called Silk and Polyester. It's the first track on the album that we just released. And this one also has a new chorus that we changed last second.
Like in the parking lot out here?
Like right before we finished the album.
Okay. All right, cool. 10 Bowls, live here on Not So Serious Radio.
Investor, silk and polyester, take it low. Take your filthy hands and throw it. Take your filthy hands and see. Take your filthy hands and throw it. Take your filthy hands. Good and reckless, swing for the fences, jumping down on my defenses, missing. Ceiling in between.
Thank you, thank you. This is the 20 chorus one, or the 10. What did I say? 10? It's just gonna keep.
10, 20, doesn't matter. What's this track?
Small sequences.
Ooh, by request.
By popular demand.
This has been my favorite track on the album thus far. Can't wait. I'll be quiet now.
Time slips, clocking in and asphalt, killing time with dreary individuals. Another cigarette to keep me in check, so I don't drive off the road again. What's the will to put you over everything? Midnight sun shining on the songs I sing. If I slept, our burns kept. Stop, drop, and I see you on the line. New ways to keep it in check by design. I'm struggling to find the chance to live for the past now. Since you don't let go, then apologize. Same as ever, old friends and new lives. You can't ever stay the same. Change is the only thing that remains. Change is the only thing that remains. And change is the only thing that remains. Change is the only thing. I see you on the line. New ways to keep it in check by design. I'm struggling to find
San Diego's 10 Bulls, live here on Not So Serious Radio. Thanks for playing that. That was my special request. Small sequences for Roob. Appreciate that. And then before that, we heard Silk and Polyester, also from the new album, The Physician's Magician, and featuring Christian on saxophone. If you were listening on the radio, you didn't know who was playing that. It was Christian. It wasn't me. How often do you incorporate horns into your music?
Kind of a lot. We recorded, I don't know, maybe 7 horn players or something like that when we did the album. Really subtle. I mean, you only really hear it on one track on the album, but there's a lot of like ambient sounds going on in a lot of the songs, and a lot of that's horns, but you wouldn't necessarily know.
Well, now they do. Yeah. And then speaking of horns, so at your show on Saturday night, we had Chaz's dad join you for a couple of tracks on his saxophone.
Yeah, and actually, for the record, he recorded the saxophone solo at the end of Nephewtism, so I felt like it was only right to have him do it live. And
BillLambden.com, BillLambden.com.
yeah, Bill Lambden, the one and only. And it was a really cool moment.
Did you actually have to beg him to play, or did you barely get the sentence out and he said, okay, I'll do it?
Oh, yeah, he was real about it. He wanted to do it.
I saw him. I was actually next to him when he had one foot on the stage with he was ready to go.
I was like waiting to give him the signal, and then I was like, I promise I'll tell you, I'll cue you when to play, because we didn't get that much time to practice with him, and he still came in early, and I was like, I promise I'll tell you, and then but it was awesome. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and I didn't hear anybody saying that he came in early. I read all the reviews the next morning. There was no mention of that gaffe. Nothing. I'd like to hear perspective from Ida and Jay on Saturday night's gig.
I was really happy with it. Yeah, kind of what Christian was saying is like, it was like for the past almost like 2 months, like we've been like diligently rehearsing for this moment, and then what happens the Sunday after? We kind of just
That was it.
kind of just hanging out. Yeah, no, but it was great. Yeah, we felt really, really confident about it, and we were like, just, it was really special that so many of our friends and family came out to support, and it was...
And pay good money.
That's right. Yeah, and we're just really pleased with it, and thank you for everybody that came.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Ida?
Yeah, Saturday was a great time. It was a ton of fun. It was super special to see how many people came, and for me personally, there was a lot of people that showed up that I've played music with since I moved to San Diego, and it was really cool to see them there supporting like my current project. It really felt like a whole sense of community like that was at that show, and I think that was super special.
Yeah.
My family doesn't live here in town, but it was cool to see these guys' family there too. It was just like a really cool community of people that were there.
There was a good vibe all around. I wept at times. It was just so beautiful. Here's a question, and you didn't have a lot of time to think about this, but I'm going to ask anyway for everybody. Can you tell me what your favorite track is on your new album?
Yeah, for me, I really like the first track, Silk and Polyester. It's really interesting. It's deceptively simple sounding, but the song's actually pretty weird on a technical level.
There's a tempo switch in there?
I don't think the tempo changes. I don't believe. It maybe slows down slightly at the end. But it's got kind of a weird polyrhythm thing going on with it. And we also had a friend of ours record a little bit of a keyboard solo at the end, which I thought came out pretty well.
Okay. Jazz?
My favorite is probably Small Sequences as well.
Yeah.
That one was one that Christian and Sebastian in an email, one of the very first songs on the record, it was just this little bass line and like him doing random vocals that he just came up with on the top of his head. There's probably 8 different ones, and then that was the one where I was like, that one's gonna be a song. And then I like was attached to that song for the entirety of its course.
All right. Ida?
It's really hard to say. My relationship with each track has changed a lot since we recorded, but I think currently my favorite song is Milk for Mark. I think the vibe of that song is really cool, And it's simple, but I just think it grooves together really well, and it feels like it's a very like tight and well-written song, I think.
All right. And Jay?
My favorite's probably also Silicon Polyester. It's like our weirdest song, and that makes me excited. But also there's a special place in my heart for Blur, which is the last track on the record. I have nothing to do with that song, so I have like an outside perspective, and it has this like really, really special, like nostalgic but bittersweet sound that just like it's like a timeless song to me. So I'm really excited about that one too.
All right. And the album, The Physician's Magician, is available. Did I say that wrong? It sounded wrong. It's available on Spotify and other streaming platforms, I guess Apple and perhaps some others. So it's out there, and if you really want to support this band, buy the album, for crying out loud. Show them what you're made of. So, and if you are interested in, if you like what you're hearing right now as you're listening, you're in luck, because this band is playing again here in San Diego on December 30th at the Casbah. What's going on that night?
Yeah, that's going to be a really fun show. Tim Piles.
From Loudspeaker?
Yep, from Loudspeaker, 91X. Booked that show. We got The Basics playing, really good local band. They kind of switched their sound recently, and their new vibe is very Frank Zappa, very proggy. It's really, really interesting, jazzy, very cool. So it's going to be hard to play after them. And then the first band that's going on is
Fra Iva?
Fra Iva.
I
I
hope
like to
that's
call
right.
him Frau Ever. But it's our friend Michael Shannon, his new project. He's been playing in bands in town for a really long time. And this is, I think, their first show, so it's going to be pretty cool.
All right. December 30th at the Casbah. You got one more for us? Uno Mas?
Uno Mas.
And what's the name of this track?
This one's called Vicarion. It's a pretty weird song. It's one that we kind of pieced together with a bunch of parts of things that we thought were going to be other songs.
Oh, a Frankenstein song.
It's kind of a Frankenstein song. We tried, we had this like foundation, and then we put in, I don't know, maybe 4 choruses that didn't work from other songs and tried to fit them in. That didn't work. And then eventually kind of all came together. So it's pretty cool.
Amen. All right, 10 Bulls, live here on Not So Serious Radio, KKSM, the Radio Revolution.
Vicariously, we're carrying on. Human robots keep away. Instead, the hell away from me. Oh, just circling, eating dead moments. Take a picture. They say it's just a throwaway. Hear me out, hear me. Living machines with human dreams, missing a scene where open books we carry. Living machines with human dreams, missing a scene where open books we carry. It's just a vulture for another dead moment. Picking scabs, yeah, I hope you choke on it. Yeah, I hope you choke on it. Working overtime, I am online. Another sideshow. Just wanted you to know. I just wanted you to know. I just wanted you to know. Living machines with human dreams, missing a scene where open books we carry.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't even ready. It was so abrupt. Hello. All right. Well, that was just a fantastic set. Thanks so much, 10 Bulls, for coming in. Chaz and Jay and Ida and Christian. And if you like what you heard, again, December 30th at the Casbah is where you can find them next. Any final words? Any shout outs?
Just thanks to everyone who's been listening so far. It's been really cool. A lot of really great feedback. Yeah, more reaction than we expected, definitely.
It's good to have reaction.
Yeah.
Thanks to Not So Serious Radio for having us on the show tonight. Also.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
welcome. I think this is the 62nd live performance we've had here. I don't know where it's over 3 years, and it just went boom, 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 and here we are. So thanks for being the closing band for 2019. It was an awesome session, and go out and buy this album, The Physician's Magician. 10 Bulls, thank you again.
Thanks, Roob.
Yeah,
Give it up
thank you.
for
Thank
10
you.
Bulls, everybody. KKSM, the Radio Revolution.